Good afternoon and welcome to Quadball Australia's 2023 State Shield. My name is Cameron Walker.
And my name is Jackson Flynn.
We are here today with the first game after lunch. It is the Queensland Thunderbirds taking on the Victorian Leadbeaters.
Excited to be here, Walker. I really feel like these are going to be one of the most interesting and closest games of the tournament, at least in today, Saturday.
If we look back to 2022 edition of the tournament, we had Queensland and Victoria competing in an in-range game for the finals series on Sunday's first game, the preliminary final. In that game, Queensland came out on top, I believe catching just out of range, and advanced to the finals versus New South Wales Blue Tongues. So this will be a tight game and expect to see a close contest.
What are our predictions for this game, Walker? What do you think will happen?
Based on the performances from today, I believe it'll be an in-range game with Victoria up and Queensland catching.
Really felt like all the games that we've seen so far, the rhythm of the game has really been dictated by the first 2 minutes. So who do you think will be up with quaffle and who do you think will be up with control?
I believe Victoria will be up with control, but Queensland will be up with quaffle only just, or up enough that it's even.
I really think both teams today have already played against Firehawks. We actually saw, I felt like, after the 40 quaffle points, it was a very close game between the Firehawks and the Victoria, both rushing on each other, with the Firehawks only just getting not being able to score those goals. However, I'd say it maybe after 60 points against the Queensland team, A team, was when Thunderbirds really started gaining on them. Yep. So it was clear that Victoria was quick to turn on the momentum against Queensland's own B team. So it's interesting analysing the Firehawks game with both these teams to sort of guess what we're going to see.
Yeah. Against the Blue Bottles, which was Queensland Thunderbirds' first game, the final score being 60 with a snitch catch to 20, Queensland's way. We saw a very slow start from Queensland. I don't think they fully got their rhythm, and they were beat out most of the game by Blue Bottles beaters who did an exceptional job of using control really well in that game. So it'll be interesting to see how will the Queensland beaters come back from this, especially against a pretty stacked up Victorian beater lineup, and how will they adjust their game to match the speed or defensive play of this Victorian lineup.
During the Firehawk game, we definitely saw the Queenslanders trading control consistently. Eventually, towards the second half of the game, it was really got into the Thunderbirds' advantage as the Thunderbirds, although they were really trading control, were consistently distracting the beaters of the Firehawks, leaving their chasers undefended. And as the A team obviously has bigger, more athletic, experienced players than the B team, they were bulldozing them. We had whilst the Victorians were playing it a little bit closer to chest with their beating strategy. So I think I'd normally say that the Queenslanders chasing team would have the advantage, but I've been really impressed with how the Victorians have been playing contact-wise. We definitely saw them save an absurd amount of goals against the Blue Tongues. The amount of close contacts that they did that saved goals was incredible. Yeah. Really scrappy so far, the Victorians, whilst the Queensland chasers have really been playing it really hard and really fast. How do you think the chaser play has been, playing out, and what are your predictions for the game?
Yeah, Victorian chaser play has been very interesting. They're utilising a 2-2 defence, and it's having good success for them so far. Queensland offences generally against the Blue Bottles were running in and popping an alley over the hoops, and they missed a few of those passes. I expect them to not get the same ground in this game that they did in the Blue Bottles game. However, I think when they looked deadly against the Blue Bottles, they had players like Gary Haig driving from the wings. That'll be extremely effective in this game. So if they can replicate that strategy, it'll definitely play their advantage in the quaffle game.
We also saw the Victorians using some sort of double-A alley-heavy offense where we had two back and two in front during their offenses. It's going to be interesting to see how the Queenslanders are going to adjust to sort of this disciplined sort of offense, because they do like to play the Y zone, which I think is actually kind of top heavy, which is exactly what the alley is. The double A is there to counter.
Yeah, we see characters like Jack Hamilton and Matt Tingate capitalising behind hoops on a defense like the Y.
While you got players like Max Pockley and Nathan sort of drawing in with a heavy drive and then using a smart throw. And then we have scrap on the D and on the O from the drop bear chasers, like Hannah Wall-Ravens and...
Caroline Crawford.
Yeah, that's the one. But those are the big names, and we've got other ones who will definitely going to be defining the game, both on teams. We've got Tim Scott, who is a bit of an all-rounder, as well as some other really interesting beaters that we haven't seen in a while, like who do we have? Nathan Lamb, who played really well against the Firehawks, and it's interesting. The Victorians, yes, they do have a heavy beating talent lineup, but they've also had to change the way that they usually play their beating with this commitment to 3-3. So, which is good to see that every single team here has been committing to.
I do know there was some teams that applied for an exemption. I can't remember if Victoria is one of them, but regardless, they've still been trying to commit as much as they could to that 3-3 rule. I'm not sure if they're fully sticking to it for the tournament though. I can be corrected on that one. We'll see how
I think the snitch play will also be quite fascinating in that Winterbourne from the Queenslanders, 2 snitches so far, caught both of them. He ran against 5 snitches last tournament and caught 5 of them. That's 7 for 7, whilst he's against a pretty decent seeking team over at Victoria. They've got Morton, who I'm not sure if they'll risk during swim play to seek, but they've also got a seeker from the Muggles, whose name escapes me. I think so, but he's pretty good. But those 2 seekers are very different in how they go for the snitch. So
not to mention reliable seekers like Max Pockley and Matt Timgate supplying a bit of energy there.
As well as Victorians who are renowned for being able to keep their cool and control during the snitch on pitch play, whilst we are seeing the Thunderbirds really, yes, lose control, but regain it quickly and then use that to their advantage. But I don't know if that's going to work as well on snitch on pitch. But I definitely think, based on all the evidence that we've seen so far, based on both teams' results of today and how they played last year, this will be a tight game and the snitch will be very important. And it's worth noting that Queenslanders have not lost a snitch yet.
Let's go live to the ground. The teams are lining up.
We're actually seeing Raj Kapoor and Gary Haig playing for the Queenslanders this season, which is very interesting because I'd say Gary is more or less plays very similar to a classic like Queensland male State A player, but Raj is very different. He likes his deflex, he likes his shots, he likes to be the commander on the offense instead of like the person copping all the hits. He plays it very differently. So let's see if this is really going to throw off the Queenslanders or provide a lot of coverage that the Queenslanders are missing. I will say both the Firehawks and the Thunderbirds have really, really, I feel like, improved their depth. They're like created a lot of tools while in their chasing play. Like the amount of tricks that they were using against the Firehawks was way vast than they used to be. Like, sure, you got Simon Span doing the classic speed and muscle, but then we've got like the Linleys and Peak and everyone else doing a lot of ball play. Oh, we're about to start.
Starting for Victoria, we've got Nathan Morton running for the quaffle, Sam Kilpatrick contesting the bludger, Maddie Fitzgerald infiltrating on the left side of the pitch, Nicola Gertler is the other beater, Hannah Wall-Ravens and Tim Scott in as chasers. For Queensland, we've got Kim Parry running for the quaffle, Xavier Luna contesting the bludger, Ruth Creffield is the other beater, Joshua Linley, Raj Kapoor as keeper, and Kaysan Hockey chasing in infiltrator. Brooms up, Morton gets the quad ball, goes over to Maddie Fitzgerald.
And a no goal. A classic Raj. Wow, I was about to say, it looks like the Victorians are about to take this game early, but Raj is not having it.
Good hustle. Morton set up that drive very well.
And the Queenslanders have gotten control. It was smart to put Raj on the starting line.
Definitely already had an early impact in this game. Victoria setting up in a 2-2 defense.
What's the bet that we're going to see a 1.5 from the Queenslanders?
I'd say high.
Got Roof going in far. Do you reckon they're going to be imitating the New South Wales Cascade or doing their own thing? Oh, looks
sure.
like a 1.5 classic.
Here it comes.
I think they're going to out-muscle Sam.
Kilpatrick rushing up. Intercept from Morton.
Morton's going to try and rush their defense.
Kilpatrick leading the charge.
He's going to do a long pass to
Lindley defending.
Tim Scott's trying to find some freedom.
Victoria 1.5ing after successfully regaining control. Morton offloads to Tim Scott over his head. Queensland inbound. Interesting set there. Victoria seemed fully committed to that fast break and then pulled up short. I thought Sam Kilpatrick probably could have taken out Xavier Luna in the mid-game there, in the mid-court.
I definitely think the Victorians were they were on the fast break, but they were also sort of setting up for the double A when they really should have just been playing a faster game. It is only like 90 seconds into the game. They've got plenty of time to adjust. But right now it could go either way.
Yeah, and that, as we mentioned earlier, that early goal is critical to this game. Kilpatrick pressing, taking out Raj.
Smuggy's
Lindley still with the ball.
He's unfazed.
Going for a pass over to Kaysan Hockey.
And a goal to Kaysan Hockey. That was
fantastic alley there.
Great calmness under pressure from Smugs and great timing for Kaysan Hockey.
Capitalising on a missed press opportunity from Victoria there. Kilpatrick overextending himself too much. Kim Parry misses the intercept. Madeline Fitzgerald with the ball.
Looks like the Queenslanders were sending up their beaters to throw off Morton and then baiting that long pass and going for the intercept. They almost had it.
Crowfield not happy in the beater game.
I'm not sure who's playing who, Walker. It looks like the Queenslanders might actually have a little advantage strategically.
Morton sizing up, looking for that small hoop shot. Middle
That's a
hoop
no
deflected.
Goal. They've got Raj on specifically to block the shots that Morton will be putting up.
Great tactical adjustment from Coach Joe Dodd
there. We've seen a small change in the beating play with Elise Fox now beating with Xavier. Still do not have control. Let's see if Kilpatrick is able to keep up the pressure he's been able to effectively put on the Queenslanders so far.
Elise Fox with a great catch.
And Elise Fox is being able to catch from Gerla. They now have control. Are the Queenslanders going to wait or?
1.5 coming.
They're going to 1.5.
Kilpatrick doing the
pass to Kaysan. Oh.
Over hoops, missed.
It looks like Smugs was just going for the same play with Kaysan. If it worked before, it should work again. Time was a little bit off there. Kaysan should maybe backed off a little bit. Great beating from Elise Fox.
Queensland should adjust here. They know of the 1.5 that Kilpatrick is going to rush them. An early ball deep and setting up a drive from behind is going to be more impactful in this game. With the use of the 1.5.
It looks like the beaters are adjusting the way that the Victorian beaters are going to be adjusting the way they're playing now that they don't have control. Let's see how their game will change.
Kit Mulcaster and Matt Tingate taking into this game.
We've seen Tingate behind the quaffle now here. It looks like they're sort of preparing for a press from the Queenslanders, perhaps.
Missed pass.
I definitely feel like the Victorians are almost overutilizing their passing opportunity, and the Queenslanders are almost on the back of their feet waiting for an intercept.
Yeah.
Maybe
Jess Lindley come into this game for Queensland Thunderbirds. Raj moving into his preferred position on the wing. Alex Winterbourne coming into the beater game. Queensland still with control here. Tingate with some high pressure.
It's an interesting choice considering they don't have control.
Good balance from Tingate. Screen from Raj. Pass over.
That's the third time Smugs has done an overhead pass to Kaysan, and the second time it's missed.
Kilpatrick regaining control. Good effort from Winterbourne trying to catch that bludger there.
Let's see if the Victorians are going to capitalise on this no beater situation. Tingate's looking for a screen, it looks
Great
like.
wrap by Lindley. Offload still. Tingate with the quaffle back.
He's on the back foot. Oh, and the Thunderbirds have gotten their one bludger back. The Victorians have missed their chance on a no-beater situation. We're having some arguments here on the corner from the beaters. The rest are getting involved.
Mulcaster pressured, misses the reset pass.
What is it going to be? Is it going to be a turnover? Have they already reset?
Logan Davis calling the reset. I presume he was going for a turnover call, looking for a reset to no one there, but
it's a good call from head ref there. Looks like Sam's created an opening situation,
again with the tackle.
But has he lost
Takes
control?
King
Oh! Sam's gotten that bludger out of there. I've got to say, in terms of beating, Sam Kilpatrick is a head above the rest so far.
Redmond cleaning up behind hoops after a successful tackle from Josh Lenley.
I think the Queenslanders have gone through maybe 2-3 rows of beaters, whilst the Victorians have yet to sub. Let's see if that's the right strat. They're going the distance, not necessarily the speed.
Queensland have good, I'd say better beater depth. I don't mind quicker rotations from them to keep their players fresh and coming into the game with big energy.
That was a sneaky but great play from Sam Kilpatrick. He threw his... Oh, what? We're getting a ref call? That doesn't look illegal to me, ref. He was aiming... No. He was aiming for a... Yep, that's exactly what the ref's calling. Sam Kilpatrick, there was one ball on the ground. Sam Kilpatrick threw at an opposing player. Mm-hmm. And then it was dead. Then he picked up the second bludger. There was nothing illegal about it. It is very close, but in my opinion, there wasn't anything illegal about that.
You see what the refs made?
What do we think so far? Cam, what do you think's different about it?
I don't really think Victoria have been troubled in defence at all, despite the one goal. The one goal they got was fair. The Queensland goal.
I think. Hold on, sorry, Cam. I think we might have a head high beat. I think that would potentially be it.
Nope, no call on the play.
Oh, right.
Queensland capitalised on a very good moment under pressure. However, I think all their other moments have not been good.
That was
a Queensland inbound.
But I'd have to say that was a good play from Kit.
Yeah. Jump from Winterbourne secures control for Thunderbirds.
That's the second time the Victorians
Kilpatrick
have lost control.
overextending. Can Queensland capitalise?
Are the Queenslanders going to wait for their second beater, or are they going to rush? I've got to say, that was some great carving up by Sam Kilpatrick, but it's a shame that they lost that control so early.
Missed pass.
Great beat from Sam Kilpatrick. And he's doing what the New South Wales players are calling clipping the wings, I think? Snipping the wings, right. My mistake. That would have been so embarrassing.
It's okay. I know your wings have been clipped, Jackson. Nathan Lamb and Emily McKee subbing into the game as beaters.
Yeah, we finally see a switch up in the Victorian beating. Mm-hmm. Let's see how this will affect their momentum in the game. It's still been very close.
Carrie Crawford in as well.
Well, Lamb looks like he was going for the exchange for maybe a catch, but I can't see where his
Ali to Carrie.
Oh, no. The Queenslanders have created a no-beater situation. Let's see if they can go for the... Let's see if they can go for the goal. Smugsy's leading the charge.
And they're coming down the field.
We've seen an immediate change in the flow of the game as soon as the Victorians have changed their beating line. It's interesting to see how the Queenslanders have been subbing their beaters more, but their game has more or less stayed more consistent. However, their keepers have yet to sub. Raj has stayed on, whilst it looks like we're seeing, I think, Chris Peake.
That's Chris Peake, yeah.
Is Simon Spann playing?
Simon Spann was injured in the Firehawks game. I don't know if he's returning. What do you think Victoria can improve on in their offense, Jackson?
Great question. I feel like potentially they might be rushing the O. Like, these Victorians are more disciplined than the Queenslanders, and their double A strategy, I think, would work against the Queenslanders. But I feel like they're rushing it a bit. I also feel like they're relying too much on that pass, and the Queenslanders know it. They're fishing for the Victorians to pass so that they can go for the intercept. That's what I think. The Queenslanders are more or less playing Victorians like a fiddle on their defense, and the Victorians are they're trying to play their game but not making the appropriate adjustments. Thoughts?
Yeah, very interesting from Victoria. I do agree they can play a bit more patiently. They have a bit more time, especially Queensland beaters playing quite defensively on hoops. We've seen Victorian Bees play a lot more aggressive. Sam Kilpatrick has been trying to open the game for them. And that led to a Queensland goal, the first one. But apart from that, it's been very successful for him. Otherwise, yeah, it's still tightly poised. Victoria need to get on the board, though.
I do think with the amount of fast-paced movement in this game, the way that the Queenslanders are running it, they will eventually get the up here, because I mean it looks like the Victorians have a slightly bigger team, but the Queenslanders, at least when it comes to their beating play, who in my opinion do a little bit more running than a chaser would, but maybe not as fast, but anyway, they're more marathon runners than sprinters. They're the ones who are getting more rest, whilst the Victorians have only just subbed. So it'll be interesting to see how. I mean, they just had a little bit of a timeout, which is probably smart from. Was the Victorians who called that timeout, or?
I believe so. Yes.
Well, that was smart play from them, especially because the Queenslanders have been able to. Queenslanders have been able to build a little momentum. I think Nathan Lamb might be ahead of himself.
Redmond recovering control of an unsuccessful 1.5. Makes the play.
We had a signature block from Raj. He's passed it off to Gary, but Gary's been taken down.
He's been beat. No one's called it.
Great scrap from Victoria to slow down that break. Oh, what would have been an easy goal off a fast break from Queensland has been stopped by the Victoria. Great scrap on the D from Vic.
Seems to be a card coming out.
What was the red yellow for?
Behind contact, I believe.
We definitely, it's a card related to contact. It's probably a little bit too, we don't want to make any guesstimations.
We're not going to speculate.
But we're seeing the captain. Is that the captain?
No, Carey is not the captain.
Oh, right.
Gary Haig, head full of steam here. What can he do?
Running against a blodger. He's going to go to Jess Lindley. And I think Nathan Lamb knows.
Schultz on his left.
It looked like Gary was trying to rush him, but the Victorians had a good pressure. Good head under pressure. I've got to say, I really respect the Victorians' scrap there. They were able to get back and defend a Gary Haig drive backed up by Raj after Raj basically kicked the quaffle behind every single Victorian.
Matty Elliott wrapping up Raj Kapoor there.
Oh, that was great effort from Nathan Lamb, capitalizing on Matty Elliott tackle.
That's fantastic.
And then being able to get the quaffle back. It looks like this Victorians have changed up the way they play. They are leading into the scrap, but it's working for them. They've got control, they've got the quaffle, and they've stopped a Queensland fast break headed by Gary Haig.
Michelle Mannering coming to the game for Victoria on the right wing. Max Fockley driving. Gets taken out by Jason Capello.
We've had intercept and then another intercept and...
Crawford hustling.
And another steal, I guess.
Ball on the ground.
We've had scrap, but a little messy scrap on the wrong side of the field. .20 in 10 minutes. Walker, tight, very, very tight game. Looks like it's, at this rate, it's going to come down to snitch on pitch with Winterbourne in hand. The Victorians, as good as they're playing right now, especially with their change in beaters, have got to do something a little bit more drastic if they're going to win this game.
Yeah, I agree. A snitch on pitch game in range only benefits Queensland with the seeking ability of Alex Winterbourne. Missed beat from Jason Capello. Cleans up. Unsuccessful drive from Chris Peake.
I'd argue a little overconfident beat there from the beaters. But Chris Peake was capitalising on that, but didn't work out. Max Puxley's going for a run. I've got to say, as scary as he looks, he's also a very smart driver. Let's see if it pays off. And a goal! God, he doesn't need to be standing, he doesn't need to be looking, and he still gets a goal. Got to say, that was pretty impressive.
Chris Peake coming back down the pitch.
Once again, I'd argue the Queenslanders have gotten a little overconfident there, Walker. They've been able to get control back though, Xavier Luna and
I want to say a fantastic look from Chris Peake. He probably should have brought his teammates with him.
But they've got control and they've got a quaffle.
It's generated a changeover in control, the first that we've seen in a while.
right off the back of a goal from Vic. We did say they had to do something drastic. Looks like they just did.
I think an early ball to Chris Peake here and a drive from him is going to score.
Oh, Jesus. I thought we were going to see another KSN hockey right over our head. Great pass from Gary. Great call from Chris Peake. Essentially on a naked hoop. He just, if only it was slightly faster, maybe he had a little bit of momentum.
Hannah Walravens also dismounted her broom as well. I think that might have come into play.
To be fair, I do think she engaged first. That threw off Chris, and then she dismounted. So, as annoying as that looks. Wow!
Victoria too quick.
Great steal from Mark Kelly.
Shot from Morden.
And a goal! It's 2-2. The Victorians have... It's funny to say. I feel like the first Victorian beating line was the most dominant, but it's their second and third now Victorian beating line that have facilitated both goals. We also had a goal from Max Pockley and now a goal from Nathan Morton.
Yes, all off drives and close range shots.
It's fun to say. I did make the comment early in this tournament that I think the Victorians are vulnerable in the fast breaks, but it seems to be that's how they're going to win this game. Well, at least how they're winning. They're building momentum in this game. What was once 0-20, maybe 2 minutes ago, is now 20-20.
Queensland alley once again unsuccessful. I'm not sure if that's the strategy they want to play with here. I really liked the previous offense look to Chris Peake on the wing and driving from there. It looked a lot deadlier. They can also play with a bit more patience, I think. Xavier Luna making his trademark throw without a bludger.
And that's a
shot
goal!
From Hannah Walravens on the top hoop. Not Dean beat before as well. Chris Peake driving, Nathan Morton shuts it down. There's a call on the play.
I think the ref is just hoping everything's okay.
Could be an injury concern here.
Looks like a little bit of marriage counselling down there. Looks like they're not getting breakfast in bed. Looks like they're being refereeing in bed. Look at them. They're side by side. They're like peas in a pod. Oh, no, he's injured. Oh, take all that back.
This is not good for Queensland. They brought a roster of 17 to the tournament because of the loss of Aaron Sybil and Will Arnold. Hopefully Chris Peake is okay.
I think it's going to be a card to Morton.
There's an injury cloud around Simon Spann as well, and you don't want to see their roster go too thin, otherwise their day two chances are really hindered from that. Flynn, what do you make of Queensland's efforts to score here?
I definitely think they got their first goal from Josh Smugsy making a pass on a set play to KSN Hockey. Got a goal. Then how was their second goal? What was
a Josh Lindley drive, a fast breakdown.
It was, right. So I was about to say, it looks like the past 2 or 3 efforts to get a goal, or at least to do an offense, have been Peake throwing the Victorians off. But I've got to say the Victorians have got scrap. Like, where, you know, the New South Wales players have got all these set plays and experience, and the Queenslanders have got, like, all this athleticism. It looks like the Victorians have got scrap, and it's working for them.
Yep.
On the defense, that's what they're relying on. Like, where a Queenslander who's big and strong and fast thinks, okay, it might be a bit messy out here, time for a quick goal, is actually getting taken down by the entire team, and it's working for the Victorians.
Nathan Morton carded out of the game briefly. Gary driving.
Oh,
That's what we talked about, Flynn. A drive from the side, much more effective. Xavier Luna opened up the lane with their 1.5, and Queensland maintained control here. Nathan Morton back in after the card. Andrew Coohan walking up the ball here.
I was about to say the last 3 goals are from Victoria. What I thought would be a tight game actually looks like the Victorians are slowed of momentum. But as you said, we had a wing attack from Gary, and it completely changed the game.
Yeah.
I do think the Queenslanders are really suffering from this Simo injury and now this Chris Peak issue. I really think that's really making their what was like a deep keeper depth quite
Smart
shallow.
screen for War Ravens there. Morton driving. Shot on middle.
And a goal.
Fantastic drive from Morton. And excellent assistance play from War Ravens there with the screen to secure that ball on the ground. Very heads up.
I wouldn't say the pace of the game has changed, but I will say that people are scoring a lot more than they were 3 minutes ago. What do you think has changed? Do you think the rust is just off a little bit and people are getting the ball in the hoop?
Goal from Liz Schultz. Cut behind hoops. Quick pass. Another side hoops play. That's the one we highlighted, Flynn. And it's working dividends for Queensland Thunderbirds. I think Victoria a bit slow to react there.
We got Smugs on field. I think the majority of the Queenslanders have all played internationally at this point, or at that level. Let's see how it'll affect the way they're playing. But we've got Sam Kilpatrick on. Let's see if he can get that control back.
Kaysan taking up a point position.
Oh. A
Xavier
deflect
Luna
from Nathan
unlucky
Morton.
with that
That's
beat.
where that beating's really coming in handy. A deflect. Oh, and a beat to Roof. God,
Control
Jesus.
regained from
No one can
Victoria.
keep that quaffle up long. Looks like the Victorians have got control back
I
after.
think Luna and Creffield overextended themselves individually a bit. They would have liked to see them go up as a team on that press and coordinate with their chasers.
I think the Queenslanders need to let the Victorians come in a little bit closer. But keep in mind, the majority of... I don't think the Victorians have scored on a set play yet, unless it was from Morton taking a shot.
War Ravens shot as well was good. Morton recovers. Dodges the beat from Creffield. No bludger situation. Pass to Mulcaster.
They're doing the double A. They're doing the double A. And a goal, but a face in hands. I think we're going to see an injury. Jesus.
Interesting because also Mulcaster was dismounted first. But I think head ref Logan Davis is going to call the goal good based on the fact it was an advantage play due to a face contact.
If we see another injury sub, as we're seeing right now, that would mean this is like... I don't think it looks very bloody, but people are getting quite injured. The point was raised at the end of the last World Cup. Do Australians need to reconsider the way we did contact? Do you think there's something wrong with the way both teams are doing contact?
No, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong. Both teams are giving it their all. And yeah, I'd say play on, no harm, no foul. Injuries happen, it's a part of the game. We need to learn to adapt to them. I would say the key difference between the contact in state ship games today and the World Cup has been a lot of players at World Cup were going at players, and when referees see that, they generally are increasingly going to call that foul if someone's going at someone, rather than defending and letting them come to them. Lindley moving the quaffle behind hoops. Elise Fox with another catch on Nicola Gertler. Secures control for her team. Lindley driving, 2 screens to set up the play. Hoppy with the goal.
And another pass from Smugs with another goal from Kaysen after the Beaters have been able to get control back. Sam Kilpatrick is way out of his own territory. Is he going to overcommit? Oh!
Wow, fantastic play from Kilpatrick.
And he's able to get control back far deep in the Queensland territory by himself. As much as Elise was able to get the control back easily, it looks like Sam got it right
Maddie
back.
Elliott on a free hoop.
I remember Sam Kilpatrick got the MVP last tournament, and I wasn't necessarily watching him too closely, but now it would be hard not to give him the MVP.
Definitely.
The man just can't not have control.
Elise Fox, big impact in this game, particularly with getting control back, and we've seen how important control is for each of these teams.
But we've also seen Elise's partnership lose control just as easily. As I said, I feel like the Queenslanders, as good as they're getting control, they're also great at losing it. But
I like to say, use it or lose it.
Are we still talking about Quidditch?
Fox
Sorry,
rotating
quad
out
ball.
The point defender.
Have we got a new beater on for
That's Jason
Queensland?
Capello. He's already been into this game. Great pass from Lindley.
Raj is 3.
Great tackle from Maddie Elliott. Goal anyway. Raj Kapoor scores through the contact. Fantastic play
Oh,
from
wait, no, I think
Queensland.
they might call it a no goal.
No, that's called good, that goal.
Right.
Fantastic play from Queensland. Those passes really drew Victoria, and if I'm being critical, they've been a little bit too, how would I say? They've been going straight to the first pass all the time, bring all their plays. They're committing too hard to one person.
The Victorians?
Yes.
Well, that's what we're talking
That's
about.
what opened up Kapoor there, and he took the one-on-one against Maddie Elliott. Terrific job from her anyway through the contact.
Well,
Still scored.
it looks like the Victorians, like the Queenslanders, are really getting around this scrap the Vic's putting up. But we're seeing Tim Scott really get in Raj's
Recovery
face.
From Scott there. A lot of useful screens being set here by Crawford.
Looks like Sam's calling the shots. Let's see if he called it at the right time. Oh, Kaysan's up in
locks
Tim
in.
Scott's face. She's not letting him pass. And he's dismounted. It's great contact there from number 4, Kaysan Hockey.
Her defense's game has been really good. You can see when Smugs came on, they wanted Kaysan on as point defender to put Smugs on Nathan Morden, hard marking. Snitch for the game, Jacob Sutherland.
Everyone's favourite snitch thief. Sorry, I mean snitch.
Seekers lining up. It looks to be Alex Winterbourne and Andrew Cohen. This will be interesting. Queensland up 60 to 50.
We get to see this rivalry between the Seeking team that we were really discussing. And as we said, it looks like this game's really going to come down to the catch.
Looks to be a foul in the beater game. Capello receiving a card.
This is, I hate to
Behind
say it, I
contact.
know it better than anyone. This is the worst time for a beater to get a card.
This could really impact Queensland's chances of winning here.
As much as the Queenslanders have got the advantage in Seeking, they've just lost a beater. Could this be it? Is this what, the undefeated Queensland Seeker, is this what it's going to take him down?
I back Sutherland to hold off Cohen long enough to get that beater back in the game when Seekers are released. Kilpatrick throwing wildly. Morden stopped by Linley. We've also seen Joe Dolchek in this game.
Oh, and some scrap now from the Queenslanders. They're not letting him score that goal.
Josh Linley is not letting go of that ball.
And we finally have got it looks like a keeping sub from Joe Dodd.
Joe Dodd,
Release Fox to the rescue.
the head coach of Queensland Thunderbirds and reserve, has come into the game in place of Simon Spann.
Looks like he's chucked the clipboard away and picked up what are we calling them now? Not brooms?
Stop calling them brooms.
Oh, yeah? Okay, all right.
Seekers are in.
The beaters are just fighting over the snitch territory, and looks like Sutherland's having a little joke
Victoria
about it.
locking this down.
Ooh, some smooth moves from Sam Kilpatrick, and we're seeing 2 male beaters and 3 female
And
chasers.
one beat out. Linley taking this opportunity to move up the pitch. Sutherland fighting hard.
Looks like he's cornered.
Capello back into the game after the foul.
Sam Kilpatrick will not let the Queensland beaters near that snitch. It looks like the Queensland chasers are really taking this opportunity. And a second yellow to the Queensland. Now is not the time to be getting these yellow cards.
This is going to hurt Queensland.
They're down control. They're down. Is it 2 players now? or-
One player. Capello's back in the game.
Kilpatrick will not let that seeker near that snitch, and he will not let them have control.
Big beat from Capello.
Looks like, is Queensland going to get control back?
Queensland get it out of this. Missed beat by Capello after that.
Looks like the Queenslanders
Nicky Redmond locking down the snitch.
and the Victorians have gotten
Mish
their control
Mannering
back.
with an
their
alley
control
goal.
back.
Fantastic effort. Blood just flying everywhere here.
It's a no man is safe on the field. Sorry, no person is safe on the field. People are getting beat left and right.
The turf does not look safe either. We can assure you from many...
A dramatic
trainings
dive from Winterbourne. Sutherland is on his toes.
Tingate checking in as a seeker.
Queensland's out. Tingate's got him all to himself. Let's see if he can do anything about it.
Locked
Jake.
up by Sutherland.
Are they...
Raj Kapoor hits a shot.
Oh, Jesus. Sutherland's keeping it close.
Luna with the catch attempt. Victoria still locking this down.
Morton
Crefeld going up.
knows that Victoria has
Nathan
control,
Lamb beat out.
and he knows that their seeker is on the snitch. He's taking his time.
Luna and Kilpatrick trading.
We have an experienced seeker now on from Queensland, Gary Haig. First time I'd say Winterbourne's been subbed off this whole tournament.
Morton to War Ravens. Rolls out of the top hoop.
Looks like
Unlucky
Roof
for
and
War
Luna
Ravens.
are protecting. Ooh, a sneaky little broom snatch there from the snitch.
Queensland with control now. What can they do?
They've created a wall.
Oh,
Looks
Unlucky
like
for
Victoria
Luna.
going for the control play.
Memory driving. Scores the goal. Score is poised at 80 to Queensland,
60 to Victoria. And
Anyone's game here. Max
looks like
Buckley
Queensland with control and snitch, seeker all alone.
Ben Watson.
We've got a third sub now for the Victorians, Max Buckley.
Brad Horsfall into the game as a beater as well. Morton wrapped up by Lindley. Taking him down to ground. Morton looking for the pass off. Quaffle's going to be stalled.
Get out of there.
Chelsea Marco into the beating game as well.
Poxley's got the first time he's had alone with a snitch, and
Great catch from Marco.
The
Great catch from
Queenslanders
Marco.
are defending that snitch. Now that Sam Kilpatrick's on, can the Victorians get that control back? Can they get the snitch?
Sam Kilpatrick is not on the pitch right now. It's Ben Watson and Brad Horsfall. They take the beat on the seeker.
Queenslanders
That gives
don't mind
Queensland
it.
a lot of time.
Looks like Gary Haig's going for the sub. Will Winterbourne have his 8th
Josh Lindley
catch
beats the
on his second
It's
chance?
the top hoop. Securing 30 points up. Queensland feeling much safer now. Max Buckley with a lone time.
I've got to
Only
say,
a
I'm
brief
impressed by
opportunity.
both teams. They know where the points are coming from, and they know where the priority is, the snitch. I've got to say, but it looks like the Queenslanders are doing it more. They're fighting for control, they're fighting for the snitch, and they're getting points on the board. Looks like the
Chelsea Marco
Victorians...
with a fantastic wrap. High contact. It's going to be called high contact here.
I've got to say, the Queenslanders bench, I feel like are really affecting the way that they're... Well, it's not hurting the way they're playing. Like, whenever they're doing something well, they've got all the support in the world. Whenever the Victorians screw up, it's the fans there to teach them that they've done something wrong.
The key difference here is that Nathan Morton is now subbed off and Josh Lindley is still on. That's been the difference so far in this game, in the snitch on pitch quaffle game. High contact from Chelsea there.
Got a little overconfident there.
Victoria now...
All right,
And a face beat as well. Is that 2 yellows?
it's 2 yellows, 1 to each team. Both
Got it.
Both teams are down a beater. We're seeing Xavier Luna versus Ben Watson. Xavier Luna with control. Not that it matters, considering he only has one arm.
If I was Luna here, I think I'd play the quaffle game. It's up by... Queensland are up by 30. There's a beater power play at the moment.
I don't know, I think as long as the game is on, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a game this tight. Even though they are 30 up, they can easily get... Victorians can, as they've proven, being able to get a goal easily and catch.
Okay, the ball's being turned over to Queensland.
Let's see if they can get 40 up.
I think they'd feel a lot better. Another big beat.
I think we're going to see a card here for Ben Watson.
Face beat on the seeker.
You can't be within 5 meters of a player and make a face beat on a beater on a player who does not have a ball.
It was definitely within 5 meters. I'd say...
Second yellow to Victoria. They have no beaters. Xavier Luna has 2 bludgers and no beaters
I
on
think
the
this
other
is every
side.
beater's dream, to be honest. 1 man, 3 bludgers. Luna going to lock down the snitch without any trouble. It's giving Winterbourne 1 minute of time. This is critical. This is a critical moment for Queensland.
See, if I was Xavier, I would throw that bludger at the closest target and get that blue one. I suppose then
Can throw the bludgers very
well. Oh, ref.
Winterbourne forgetting he has to pause.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would do.
Fantastic throw from Luna. That'll secure the bludger well down in Victoria's side. Lindley driving, and Queensland are out of range. Brad Horsfall back into the game after the foul.
Winterbourne's going out Sutherland. He's alone. He's in the Queensland territory. Now's his time to catch the snitch. But he's tired. I feel like Queensland have been really smart with their play. Oh,
we've seen our third face beat on a Seeker in a row.
We've probably
and
seen
that one was probably the biggest.
I'm confused, Cameron Walker. Which one is the Victorian captain? Because it looks like they've got a team of captains here, based on who's been talking to the refs. I'm sorry, I'm confused.
Hannah Warravens is their captain, and Maddie Bell is their vice captain.
Who can talk to the ref?
It should be the speaking captain, who I believe is their coach, Matt Jenkins.
So they have three captains.
Well,
right.
You can have a captain of a team and
that's
a different person
simplistic.
can
Right. Cool. But none of those people on the field right now.
I'm not sure.
Right, but they're still talking to the refs? That's really interesting.
I think Jackson Flynn has a personal vendetta against talking to the refs. He himself is the starring example of that in our community.
That's conjecture. I feel like the people responsible for the journalistic esteem over at Push Pass really have an issue with the way that you've been reporting. So
Luna and Marco now in the penalty box, both for Marco is for high contact. Ben Watson's still in the penalty box as well, but Marco will be coming on soon.
Does that mean every single, almost four of...
We've had 4 beta fouls in 2 minutes. It's now Brad Horsfall's turn to play 3. Being the lone beater on Hoos, but it looks like Chelsea Marco is poised to come back on any moment. So
looks like this is Vic's chance to really catch up, even though they're 40 down. They also have 3 bludgers.
A snitch catch here will be really critical, and I can see still a very tight game.
Looks like
trying to compete for those last few goals.
Though it does look like Winterbourne is looking for a sub. Oh no, Gary Hay.
Winterbourne's been beat out. Mish Mannering with the ball, offloads to Crawford. Great tackle by Lindley. Marco cleans up. Queensland ball. Kilpatrick back on. Great beating from Marco.
Great beating from Kilpatrick. Once again, the man has got control. Oh, just threw it away though. Up. Once again, Winterbourne is going to get beat.
Great pass from... excellent defense from Carrie Crawford. Fantastic pass from Josh Linear at Kaysan Hockey. And Carrie Crawford read it and stole the pass off them. Elise Fox into the beat again. Kilpatrick still locking it down. Tingate locked up by Sutherland.
Looks like Sutherland, the snitch, is really using his physicality to take out these seekers. Sutherland does not want to get caught, and I can't blame him.
It's been the longest snitch run of this tournament so far, and it's creating a really interesting atmosphere in this game.
Well, Gary Haig back on the field, probably the most experienced seeker of the lot so far we've seen. Control and seeker dominance has been going both ways, but it looks like the Victorians can't get that control. Is Gary going to make...
Kapoor running. Offload to Lindley. Lindley
and
scores.
And a goal. They're 50 up.
Misbeat from Kilpatrick on Gary Haig.
We've got the Victorians coming in to take out Gary Haig. Who's going to beat it?
Oh, no.
That's a safe... but not enough time for Gary to get that catch.
In the meantime, an unforced error from Victoria has turned over the quaffle. Max Pockley in seeking.
You can really see the exhaustion on the beaters, at least at this point. It is a war of attrition at this point.
I think Queensland are winning that war. Brandon Friesen, that is not a goal. Smart play from Luna. The faster subs paying dividends for Queensland as Luna's going to track down this ball. Kilpatrick's anyway still faster.
The rules don't apply to Sam Kilpatrick. The rules really don't. In a good way, not like he's a rule breaker.
Buckley dodging.
Quick little sneaky seek. Is he going to get a sneaky catch?
Joe Dodd rallying the troops. Good early pass.
Xavier Luna can't keep his control.
Unforced error. That's unfortunate. Matty Elliott recovering the quaffle there. Great beat from Nicky Redmond. Morden driving.
And a desperate shot. Way too early. He's got two people on his right. Have the Victorians given up, Walker?
I'm not sure. I would have liked to see him try and go past Dodd there. But we know how tired they must be. The Beaters are putting in all efforts here. Sutherland defending really well. We must be close to second handicap soon.
And Winterbourne gets beat again. We're 5 minutes into snitch on pitch play. I think he's already at that first handicap. He's hugging the line.
In the meantime, we have another Queensland goal that puts them with a 60-point lead. Queensland pulling ahead in quaffle game.
How do you think Victoria can win this game? They're down on. It doesn't seem to matter who has control at this point. Doesn't matter. It seems to matter how long the seeker can get. How will they win this game?
They've committed fully to snitch on to the snitch. I think they have to stick to it.
Is the game already over for Victoria?
I don't know. It'll be over once we see Queensland Beaters go into quaffle. Morden with a push through goal. Fantastic driving effort. Much needed goal for Victoria there.
Jacob Sutherland doesn't like the idea that there's a better seeker out there than him, and he's just not making.
He came with a personal vendetta to this game, and boy, is he making them pay.
I think at this point, Jacob might want the snitch more than the other teams. He might want to just take it home with him.
Chris P. Joe Dodd with the ball.
Ooh, got an aggressive start from the new Queensland seeker. Is this the right play against
dropped ball
the snitch?
From Chris P. Liz Schultz, tackled by Matty Elliott. It's going to be a behind contact though. Some players on the other side of the pitch unaware that it is brooms down. It's going to be a behind contact on Matty Elliott here for a tackle on Liz Schultz.
God.
I would love to see Liz use the restrictor rule here and go back to the hard boundary and then go to Joe Dodd.
I don't think we're going to see that. I think we're going to see a long pass to Joe Dodd.
Logan's reminding her of the rule.
Looks like Queensland's got a second chance at this pass. Looks like it's going to go to Joe Dodd. Victorians know this.
By Morton. Fantastic read on the play. Accelerating his run down the pitch.
Is going for the
no support.
Another
it's going to have to work
clean
hard.
dodge from Pockley. Let's see if he can get it off.
Fantastic tackle by Chris Peake. Enough to just knock the ball out. And it's a missed goal by Morton at close range. Kim Parry into the seeking game. Fantastic double effort there. Andrew Curran with some alone time now. Brad Horsfall defending the snitch. Joe Dodd slowly walking the ball up. Gary Haig back into seeking with Xavier Luna accompanying.
We're up to the second handicap. We're going to see Sutherland restricted to only one
Great catch
hand.
by, double catch there. Xavier Luna coming out on top with a follow-up beat. Fantastic beating. Even how tired they are.
Sutherland can only use one arm. Let's see how this is going to affect the play.
Some confusion about the face beat rules.
Looks like the refs are just as tight as the players, Walker.
It's a hard effort. It's a fairly reasonable day, 22 degrees here, quite sunny.
We're 30 minutes into a grueling game.
Grueling matchup. 130 to Queensland, 70 to Victoria. Still, snitch catch. I can see any team staying in this. If Victoria get this catch, I can see them working back. I don't know if they're still able to win the game though.
I think now is the time to really sub in Masika like Gary Haig to really muscle in and take this. Oh, there he is. Yep. Looks
just as you wish for.
Yeah, exactly. The snitch has only one arm, and they're up by
I don't think we've
70
officially
points.
reached second handicap. We're at the time that we should. I don't know if it's been called on pitch.
Right. Snitch ref has got their hands up, indicating time maybe.
At least Fox almost winning that catch. Fantastic goal from Victoria there. Critical for their success in this game so far. Luna with a great beat. Kilpatrick back into the game. Again securing control for Victoria.
Gary Haig wants his alone time with the snitch, but it's not going to happen. Oh, spoke too soon.
He's not doing it.
Yes, he is. He's using one hand. He keeps changing his hand, but he's using one hand at a time.
I see. Queensland quaffle play quite slow at the moment. They're happy to let it sit and tire out Victoria. Kilpatrick extending into the quaffle game. Missed shot from Lindley, recovered by Dodd.
What do you think
goes to Liz Schultz.
What do you think has been proven to be a more difficult game for the Queenslanders? There's a Victorian game or the Blue Bottle game?
I would say Blue Bottle game.
I'd say this is a far more demanding game, but the other game was a far closer game.
I think the longer snitch on pitch period has benefited Queensland much, much greater.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it was 60-60 before snitch on pitch.
Joe Dodd with a no-look shot. Goes straight through the right hoop.
And a catch to Victoria. It looks like no one in the stands is happy to see that.
Gary Haig not happy with Kit Mulcaster catching there. I'm not sure what happened. I personally wasn't watching the snitch play. Sounds like it was a sneak catch from Kit Mulcaster. Gary Haig demanding a lot of attention from the snitch there.
To be fair, it looks like every seeker on the field has thrown everything but the kitchen sink at the snitch, but no one seemed to think about sneaking in except for the brilliant Kit Mulcaster. So he deserves a snitch at this point.
I would agree.
Can't throw your hands
Everyone's
up after
come
12
head
minutes and say, oh, I almost had it after 12 minutes.
My captain, Jacob Sutherland, very tired after 12 minutes of seeking, and it's been demanding, intense, grueling seeking.
It looks like it's going to be even more demanding for both teams as the game continues to be played.
Should this catch be called good, we would see the score sitting at 140 to Queensland Thunderbirds and 110 to Victorian Leadbeaters, with the set score being 170. So Queensland requiring 3 goals and Victoria requiring 6. If the catch is called good. Let's see what the refs call.
Refs about to make their call. Catch has been called no good.
Looks like Victorian play impeded the catch attempt. That's unfortunate for Victoria though.
And unfortunate for Sutherland, he has to keep on running.
Unfortunate for Mulcaster. I don't think they're going to be able to pull that trick again. Gary Haig going for another attempt. getting close. Meanwhile, Jack Edmonton with the quad ball.
Oh!
Gary Haig with a catch.
Looks like Gary did his own sneaking over there.
Sneaking right in his face.
Oh, we're having a dramatic moment on the field between the seeker and the head coach.
Catch is called good.
Which is called good.
Queensland finished this game 170 with the catch to 80 to Victoria.
Gotta say, this was a roller coaster of a game.
Yeah,
Went from 60-60 to 140 to 80.
we were at 10-10 in 10 minutes.
God.
Fantastic game from both teams. I think Victoria will be really pleased with their efforts before snitch on pitch.
Say what you will about this game, Walker. Confusing, frustrating. It's never boring.
It's not boring. It certainly isn't. I'll be interested to see how these teams shape up. Queensland have booked their spot in the preliminary final at minimum. If they can get a win over New South Wales Blue Tongues, they will book their spot in tomorrow's grand final.
But has this victory cost them too much? Have they lost too many players? Has this game really taken the fight out of them? I'll tell you, Walker, it didn't look like they were gunning for the next fight after this win. It really looked like this game took the fight out of both teams.
They've got a game break and then they're playing the New South Wales Blue Tongues. Meanwhile, Victoria have a few more games until they play the New South Wales Blue Bottles, which will be a very interesting matchup as well. If the Blue Bottles take that victory, they secure a spot in the preliminary final for themselves, and Victoria will have to play for third in tomorrow's games.
Still many ifs, Walker. We'll see.
Continue to join us as the day goes on. Thank you for listening to our coverage of the Queensland Thunderbirds versus Victorian Leadbeaters at Quadball Australia's 2023 State Shield. Thank you all.